Welcome back to another episode of the Electro and Banno Movie Power Hour. I am Banno, joined by Oz. Lil is back in the building.
What's up, guys?
And Electro's right here, too.
I'm also here.
Yeah, so just trying to remind you guys to follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram at the Electro and Banno MPH. You can find us on Facebook, Electro and Banno Movie Power Hour. And check us out on Twitter at the Electro and B1. Check it out.
Yes. Very fine, Bono. Thank you.
The Electro and Banno Movie Power Hour. You know what? Where's Hawk at? Listener discretion advised. Hands in.
We watched Tenet this time around. The movie theaters again finally opened. We went to the movie theaters
That
all
was the
together.
bigger story.
Yeah.
We went out there into the fucking wilderness.
Yeah, we fucking
put our lives in danger.
put our
Mask on.
Put our
Mask
masks on and, you know.
How about those people sitting in the same row as us when there's a million other rows?
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
I know they weren't like, they were still way far
There
from
were
us, but
no, there was someone like a seat away from me.
Really?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
way too close.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was right when
Yeah.
they moved. Yeah.
Mhm. I was just kind of.
And they, first of all, they sat wrong and they're over there all off, and then they try to fix it when they saw us with our respectable seating.
Yeah, and so they got closer.
Yeah.
I was like,
We don't know what to do.
So we're gonna put you in more danger.
Get close.
Everyone sits in one row.
Everyone sit together.
Like, you're the reason why everything shut down,
Yeah.
dude. People like you are the reason why we can't fucking be normal.
Get your act together,
Yeah, thanks,
Capitola Movie
Capitola.
Theater.
But it is weird going back to the theater because, again, even though there was somebody in our row or whatever, there was almost nobody there.
Yeah.
It was the best service. Dude, that popcorn came out fast,
Fresh.
fresh, warm.
But there were no nachos.
Yeah.
There's no
And
alcohol.
you know what?
There's
Hey,
nothing.
Regal, step it up.
Step
you guys
your
are
shit up.
Pepsi products only.
Damn.
Get out of here.
I have
Yeah.
never, ever watched a movie that advertised Pepsi
No.
right before.
No.
I
I
felt,
love that rebellious
I
streak.
felt like,
No, man.
like you guys were spitting in my face.
and It makes me miss the Cinemark Coke.
I was like, dude, do
commercials
you
that
not
Gordy
want
loves.
a Pepsi
I
Icy?
fucking- yeah, that's the highlight of my movie going
But you can
experience.
get Mountain Dew though.
Yeah, you can get Mountain
Did
Dew.
they have that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
they did.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm
It'll
sure
ruin
that's
your
a Pepsi
kidneys,
product.
baby.
Oh, fuck.
But no, man, you need a Coca-Cola
A
there.
Sprite. Get a Sprite, you know?
Yeah.
Chill.
Come on.
This is America.
Yeah,
So-
and America loves Coke.
Yeah.
Let's
Ah,
move.
America.
yeah.
Let's be real.
America soft drink, okay?
Yeah, unless
And
like,
drug of choice.
unless Pepsi for some reason wants to give us money, then Pepsi is terrific.
Oh, if Pepsi wants to pay us. I love me some Pepsi.
I drink Pepsi
I'll
every
never drink
day.
a Coke
Yeah.
again in my fucking only Regal fucking
Fucking
theaters.
trash drink. Fucking trash.
Only Regal
drink.
theaters.
Goodness. Back on track, though.
So we went to the
Tenet.
movies and it was a fun experience. It's weird going out to the movie theaters with the masks on, but again, there's almost nobody there.
Yeah.
The movie theaters are in trouble because nobody's going. They're open, but they're not making any fucking money.
Mm-mm.
I actually read today that AMC basically said that they're in 6 months they're gonna be fucked. So
Whoa.
There was literally like as many employees as there was people when we went.
yeah, there were, I would say there's
For
probably
sure.
more employees.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that can't be. You can't.
Yeah,
afford
they
that
can only
shit.
be like at half capacity of that and shit. So, yeah. And it's also like the worst place to be during Rona because it's like all fucking, there's no natural airflow.
Yeah, it's circulated air.
Yeah.
I cough every 10 minutes to
Very
keep
dangerous.
the airways
I was
clear.
sneezing the whole time.
It's like a odd couple style.
But so we went, you, Bono, and myself. We went to go see it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, in
I
Capitola.
believe so, yeah.
We got like torched out of our skulls before we did
You
so.
may have. I was like at a 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you understood more of that movie than I did because the first time I didn't understand a lot of it because I was so fucking high
it was
that I
pretty
kept
jabbed out.
thinking about other things, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, I've been missing a lot of dialogue, and now I don't know what's
I'm watching
happening."
the
Because there's movies heavy with dialogue, and if you don't pay attention, you're gonna get fucking lost.
And it's got time travel and shit.
Oh yeah, very
forwards
confusing.
and
There's a
backwards.
lot going on.
Very confusing.
It's like
movie.
a giant awareness test. Like
Yeah.
you have to pay attention.
This
Like if
is-
you have ADD, don't even go watch this.
No.
I
But
feel
I mean,
like
it
I
has some
do, but I
cool-
got really high and then a little drunk and I
Okay, or take an
Okay.
Adderall
Little
and you'll be
buzz.
fine.
Little
You know what you got to do.
Little
chug
buzz.
chug a beer.
Yeah,
Little
but
99 bananas.
anyway, so Christopher Nolan, he might be, I don't know, he's got to be in the top 3 directors in my book, at least, working directors today. I gotta say, this is the most Christopher Nolan movie ever fucking made. I feel like he combined his last 4 movies into one for this one. Okay, I felt a little bit of like The Dark Knight in some of the car chase scenes. It was Memento because it was going backwards.
Mm.
Fucking, you had a little bit of Inception in there. I feel like he just went like, you know what? All the last major things I did, I'm just gonna roll it all up into one fucking movie and see what happens. See if it makes any sense. And that's arguable because we saw it twice, and this definitely the second time I watched it, much less stoned, I understood a lot more what was going on. And also knowing like you gotta sit the fuck down and you gotta listen to everything, because if not, it's very easy to get lost.
Well, before we get any quicker, do you want to give a quick synopsis as to
The synopsis is even fucking impossible.
like,
It says
Denzel has a kid, he goes forward and back.
Lil Dance.
Lil
the
dance.
synopsis is fucking. Let me read it to you. It's like ridiculous.
In Knock'em Stiff, Ohio. No.
Wrong tab. Wrong
Yeah.
tab.
It says armed with one word Tenet and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist's journey through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. See, I don't even.
Well, that's basically what it is. But
Yeah.
how all that shit happens, I have no idea. And you watch it and you're like,
I think they
No.
just used the word Twilight in there because our
Yeah,
path is
they
in
were
there.
just like throw the word Twilight in there.
we'll get that
Twilight
crowd.
World. We'll get the Twilight
Yeah.
fans in. They're gonna
let's
be
get our
like,
hats.
And
Let's
they
get our
also
hats.
compare it to that Harry Potter movie, to Prisoner of Azkaban, which we don't remember at all. But
never
I'm just like,
heard
is
of
that movie about fucking time?
When
I've
was the
never
last
heard
time
of
you
this
read or saw that shit, Oz?
I've never seen or read any of the Harry Potters
see,
or Lord of the Rings for that matter.
Apparently,
How
it's
about
the
Oh my
closest thing
God.
well,
to
the second
Tenet.
part's of sin, but yeah, but basically, it's hard to when the first time I watched it, like the movie was happening, and I was like, for at least the first 30, 40, maybe the first hour, I was like, I have no idea.
that? I was
Yeah.
like, when does
What's
Denzel
happening?
Washington come out?
But it starts out terrific.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it comes-
it's action packed from beginning to end.
Because it starts with this crazy fucking action scene where like a bunch of terrorists take over
an opera house.
an opera
Is it
house.
Russian? Are they doing it
Yeah,
as a Russian
which,
opera house?
I mean, because that happened right in like with 2003 or whatever, where they
Mhm.
took over that theater and then
Mhm.
they put the gas in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went in
Yeah.
there and killed everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I mean,
They didn't get
it
that
starts
part
off
right.
super heavy with the action, and it's really cool
It's
because
good.
like it's tactical as shit. Like so, they did some proper training. They're sliding all over the place. So yeah, they drug up the entire opera house to reduce casualties, which is some real shit. Like I mean, if
Mm-hmm. That really happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
look
if-
it up. Look at Moscow
Yeah.
theater takeover.
But
Google.
you find out well as soon as the fucking SWAT team, the Russian SWAT team gets there, they're branded. They're like a special team. So Lil
they're
Dez,
like, wake up the Americans.
yeah, let's
right?
get them because these guys are the specialists, or they're on a mission to obtain something, right? Because there's someone in the opera house.
Yeah.
But you see them slap on badges, and nowadays
Yeah.
that's like a huge thing, especially with all the rioting and all these types of special forces. Like people would just badge themselves up to be someone else,
Yeah.
and people just perceive it as the real thing. So throughout that,
These guys
scene-
may be Antifa, is what we're trying to say.
yeah. That's what this movie.
'Cause
is.
at that point, yeah, okay, they do have accents, right?
Mhm.
Like not Russian accents.
I have no idea, to be honest.
No.
like what they
When
were.
the dudes that are like putting the patches on, the guy's Scottish, like,
Mm.
right, the main guy. So automatically, it's like these dudes are probably not supposed to be here.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's It's a CIA. They're in the CIA.
CIA.
Lil Denz is
Yeah,
in the
Lil
CIA.
Denz is in the
Yeah.
CIA.
And Lil Denz, what's his name?
It's
John David Washington.
Oh, come on, Lil Denz. Have some respect.
Yeah, he's the
He's
main.
Lil Denz in our heart forever.
He's the main character. You got second in command, Arpats, of course.
He's so hot right now.
They're like the main
Yeah.
two characters. There's Kick-Ass is in this as well.
I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah.
You know what college John David Washington went to? Or
John David
John
Washington?
David. So yeah.
you know what college he went to?
No.
Huh?
The House.
The House?
He also went to Morehouse, dude.
Okay.
How about that?
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Cool.
To tie into Five Bloods, that's my tie-in.
Yeah. And well, what do you guys think about Lil Denzel in this movie? Did he carry the movie good for you guys?
It was a little tough. I mean, of course, the action scenes, it doesn't really matter what the hell he says or does because there's so much going on. And then again, yeah, it's also an awareness test. So there's little things going on that it get explained later into the movie. But I don't know. I felt like he was lacking something. I felt like I didn't believe him to be this badass, but he was badass at the same time.
When he was physically being badass,
Yeah.
it was cool.
It was good.
but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe something about his acting. I don't know. Maybe it's
I
just
think he sometimes
missing
he
a
just
little
lacks
bit.
emotion,
Mhm.
but maybe that's what his signature thing is,
Right.
because you were saying earlier that you felt like he was like that in Black Klansman too.
I think
But in
so.
Klansman, it was really good. He was actually really fucking good in that movie. I
Yeah.
think.
Dude, in Black Klansman, when he was trying to be funny, it didn't come across as really that
genuine.
funny.
Yeah.
But then again, it came across like a cop trying to be funny. So I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah,
fuck, is
yeah.
this dude next level?
Right.
Or what the fuck?
Or is he
Holy
not good?
shit.
It's like I can't decide.
Motherfucker's diving in.
Yeah.
Or
Fuck
he
Daniel
can't-
Day-Lewis. This is the fucking guy.
Yeah. No, well, obviously we all fucking really love Black Klansman, and I thought he was good in that too.
Mhm.
I think it's a little more dialed back in this movie, because also in Black Klansman he's cool.
Yeah.
He's got a swag about him. He's got this coolness about him.
Yeah, he has to. He's undercover. He's infiltrating,
Mhm.
so he has to walk the walk.
And in this movie, I feel like he's doing that same thing too. He walks around
Mhm.
swinging his dick the whole fucking movie.
Mhm.
As he should.
And he's very confident, cocky. He throws jokes. He made me laugh a couple times in this
Yeah.
movie too.
Mhm.
He had some good jokes. And but I don't know. Sometimes I would just be I don't know if he's just playing it too cool. Is that a choice? That he was
Maybe.
just I'm just gonna be super cool, and honestly the best acting of him comes near the end of the movie for me, where then finally I was like, oh, okay, you're getting a little deep here.
Mhm.
But most of the movie, it was just him being super fucking cool. I don't know how I feel about him as an actor and as a leading actor in this whole movie, where you got to spend the whole fucking movie with him. It's a
Right.
long fucking
It
movie.
is a long movie. So
It's a
yeah,
long one.
right at the opera house, they were gonna extract one of, I don't know, what was he? That guy. He was just some sort of leader who had this piece on him.
Yeah, he had something.
So they extract them to get him out of there, and it turns out
So good.
it was a setup. It was a setup. Spoilers, and they
Spoilers.
fucking capture him. They capture Lil Dez.
Lil Denz.
Yep.
So then his crew, the CIA operatives, are getting tortured and either picked apart one by one, and that's when you see that they have the ability to kill themselves with a CIA
Cyanide pill.
Cyanide pill.
Well, before he gets caught, there's a bullet that he sees
Yeah.
lodged into a chair
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
that goes back.
Goes back. He gets somebody saves his life
Yeah.
Yeah.
from a bullet going backwards. Some random dude just shows up, because also he gets double crossed. People are putting bombs. They're we're gonna blow all these sleeping people up.
Mhm.
Shit was
And-
crazy.
Yeah, I thought
There
that
was
was gonna
so much
happen. I was
going
like,
on.
holy shit!
And
That's
then the random people that I'm sure were just getting shot, because there's a full firefight going on.
Yeah.
It was a firefight.
Because the terrorists were ready for the gas. They all had gas masks. All the people at the opera all pass out.
Mhm.
and then there's a full-on firefight going on. So that was pretty cool. And I did see about the what it was. I don't know if it was inspired by it, but the real event. I guess it happened in 2002 in Moscow.
Damn, I said 2003.
You're close.
You were so close.
And on the third day they finally did that.
Mhm.
And 204 people died because of the gas.
Pussies. Weak lungs. They would have never survived Rona.
Yeah.
I barely survived around that.
Yeah.
We got them.
But so yeah, somebody saves them, and the first time you see it, this moment's not gonna mean anything to you unless you're really paying attention, I
Right,
guess. Because
right.
I didn't catch it the first time.
What, the charm?
The keychain.
Yeah, no,
You
that's
did?
yeah. It's pretty clear. They focus on that shit
They
pretty hard.
focus on it, but you don't really know what to
Yeah.
make of
By
it
the
in
time
the
it
beginning.
comes back again, I had already forgotten about it.
Oh,
the
shit.
first time.
Oh.
But then by the time you finish watching this movie and you know what that keychain means, when you watch it again, you notice it.
Right
like,
away, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And he does hint it too, because again, it's in the middle of a firefight. These bombs are about to go off, and he's just like, okay, that dude's not one of ours. Who is he? And he's just running off. He's telling his teammates, he's like, hey, who the fuck was that? Someone just saved my life, but he doesn't have any badges. He doesn't have shit.
Mhm.
Well, what's the deal with this guy?
Yeah, either way, he gets caught and he takes his cyanide pill. And then that's when I really like that scene. And I don't know how they were going to imply that, like, they were going to let the train tracks, like, run over their
Yeah, they were
heads, 'cause
definitely
that's
torturing
pretty
them. They were
fucking
like
cool
taking
if
his
they were.
teeth out, right?
Yeah, they took his teeth
I
out.
thought they were using the trains as both cover for what the violence they were doing and the sound
The
of
sound,
them
yeah, yeah.
screaming.
Because they were pulling his teeth out.
Yeah.
I mean, when I torture people at the train track, that's
smart.
That's just how I do
It's
it.
just
That's
a smart
No one
move.
can hear you scream.
And no one's looking in the tracks for teeth,
No,
so
no.
they're just like,
No, there's a
whatever.
lot of rocks
Yeah,
around.
there's a lot of homeless, there's
And you
homeless
throw
people,
them on the track, then
bunch
no.
of
Oh,
meth
yeah.
heads
Oh
who
my
lose their
God.
teeth anyways.
You
Oh,
put,
yeah.
put a penny down to
It
flatten
makes
it.
sense, is what we're saying.
It's just
Yeah,
gonna be lost in between all the meth teeth.
So even from that scene too, and we were talking about this, the sound in this movie is like really amplified.
oh yeah,
And well, the first time we saw it, it's kind of shitty sound. It's a low grade, well, a subpar theater that we saw it at. The sound system's old, so it's kind of crackling a little bit, kind of
Yeah.
peaking. But seeing it the second time in that particular scene when he's pulling out the teeth, the train is passing and it's extremely loud. Of course, yeah, you could say, hey, it's covering the screams, or hey, it's, just amplifying. You're getting a real surround fucking sound for what's going on. But you can tell that these guys are just basically going to torture the shit out of this dude, because they're like, hey, you have an hour, but you didn't tell us shit. So we're going to go back an hour because your dudes aren't telling us anything, and you're not going to tell me anything.
yeah.
And
So-
you're gonna run out of teeth, Lil
Yeah.
Dance.
We're not gonna understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Able to talk very well.
Yeah. And first movie since I think fucking Batman Begins that Hans Zimmer didn't do the score for in a Nolan movie
Mm.
because he was busy doing another movie. I don't know what I can't remember what other movie he did, but
Mm.
first
He's doing a lot, man.
first Hans Zimmer non Hans Zimmer score for Nolan in a
I don't
very
even,
long
dude.
time.
I didn't even
But it
pay
was
attention to the
super-
score.
But it was, what are you saying? The score was the movie. It's like
Shit.
it makes the movie like way more intense.
Yep.
Because if you had a different score, it would be more boring because there's a lot
Right.
of walking and talking and like
Right.
showing of buildings and landscapes. Very beautiful. But the music is like kind of like amping you up. Like what's happening
in those scenes? Yeah, in those scenes for sure.
Yeah. Especially in the beginning. It's really reminiscent of like in the Dark Knight
Yeah.
in the beginning where they rob the bank.
Mhm.
It's just like them all coming in. The same similar beats like bump bump. That's
Yeah.
kind of where Zimmer kind of started being like, oh, like I invented this new sound.
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
everybody's
Fuck
gonna
yeah, he
use
did.
it.
And it's cool too because the start of that opera thing, it's they're playing, they're warming up, and the conductor like hits his board or whatever, and it goes silent, right? They're like, okay, we're about to start, and it just cuts off by an AK going off, which is pretty it got me off guard for sure.
Mhm.
I was like,
Pretty
oh
cool.
fuck.
Pretty cool
Mhm.
opening.
I was
Great
expecting an
opening.
explosion, of course, but not
Yeah.
a fucking full on storming of the house.
So anyway, fucking little Dan's, he was like, fuck it, I'ma die. give me that cyanide.
So
Yeah.
they take his pill first.
He threw it away, and his partner's down. He's like, dude, if you want to kill yourself, here you go,
Yeah.
bro. Like he got
Had
his
such
pill.
good aim. He had one shot to dive.
Yeah, to
Well,
dive
all
to
tied
get
on
the
that?
pi- I know.
Yeah,
You think
he
Lil
landed
Den's
right
is gonna
on
miss
Lil
it.
Denz
that
will
time?
not fuck
Nah,
around.
he's good.
Nah, Lil Den's.
That shit was.
He's
I
on
was
it.
I
impressed
believe
by
in
that.
him. I believe in him.
I was like, damn, that was
So
like.
it's really cool seeing him like what you think he died. Does he die, or was it a placebo?
That's the crazy thing.
It was a placebo.
Didn't they tell him that?
Yeah,
Like,
they
that was
told
a
him
test.
It
Well,
was a
at
test.
first they tell him that they rebuilt his mouth,
right.
and then he was just like fuck no, like I didn't die or something, right?
Right.
And then he
Yeah.
asks about his team, and he's just like, "Oh, they're all dead." But I don't know. So I to me, it's still not clear whether it was a test or he just got through that situation, and they were like, "Okay, you're in just because you did what you did in that situation, not because we made this test for you."
Could they be the ones torturing him?
I
They
fucking
definitely
guess.
can.
His
They
own
definitely
people
can
to
be.
be like, all right, see how down you are, Dance.
Well, I think that's probably what that guy was implying, saying that like, hey, you survived because you were willing to die, where all these others probably said a bunch of secrets, gave a bunch
Yeah.
of people up from the get go. Because the moment they get into the truck to leave the area, they're already marked. So it's like this is already they were waiting for them to extract this so they can gain the piece, like right off the bat, which worked out fucking great for him. But right when he says that, it's like, hey, you passed the test. You're like, well, what was the test? You taking the fucking pill or the entire fucking thing, right?
Yeah, like
So
he
it's-
failed his mission.
Yeah.
And also, the package he gets, you will find out later, is something that he's gonna come across later. So it's also important what he finds, what he dies for, really.
Right.
And then I just thought it was super badass, where he like it makes him like his character seem really badass at first. When that guy's just like, you instead of fucking ratting everybody out, you chose to die. That's why you're fucking here. 'Cause
Right.
You're fucking
Yep.
G,
Yep.
buddy.
Right.
Your little dance.
Yeah.
Dance.
I
Yeah.
expected nothing less from a Washington.
Of course.
Yeah, and then so after that, I guess from the research that we did here,
Mm-hmm.
because you just see him doing pull-ups, like super dangerous pull-ups. Like,
yeah,
dude, you're
and that
risking.
windmill. I'm like, you're gonna fall to
That's
your
so
death,
gangster.
little
He
Dan.
goes like all the way to the like roof of whatever fucking silo or
pretty
whatever.
fucking
What's the
fuck
rustiest
he's in.
pipe? That one?
Yeah.
Ah,
Fucking
that's the
hell.
one I'm
Yeah,
hanging
that
from.
one.
I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm in an ocean. None of this is rusted. I'm good.
Yeah. So he does like super dangerous push-ups, and I guess. Well, I guess we'll come back to it. We could come back to it. He just does pull-ups for a while.
Yeah.
And then they introduce him to Chloe from In Bruges. And
Yes.
she breaks down like what inverted objects are, and fucking this is where the movie starts getting like
Getting a little tricky.
yeah. So she like shows him these bullets that apparently are from the future. It's really weird describing
yeah.
this fucking movie.
Yeah.
So she
Well, even they are assuming at this point, right? They're not really fully certain. They're
I
like,
think-
somebody's doing this.
I
We don't
think
know how.
They have enough information to know that it is from the future. They just don't know how the fuck or who the fuck is making these
Yeah.
objects inverted.
And so he does like some inverted fucking target practice.
Yeah.
And that is a little Matrix moment right there. Actually, I don't know if it was a nod or not.
No, for sure.
Because
100%.
also the way that she says is like, don't think about firing, think about it as catching the
Mhm.
bullet.
Yeah.
Which also reminds me of like there is no spoon
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Stop trying to hit me and hit me. You know
Yeah,
what I
and then
mean?
he goes, "Whoa!" And I was like, "That's
Yeah.
pretty cool." All right,
started clapping.
Little
You know?
dance.
Little
He's
Dan.
winning me over now that we're
Yeah.
thinking about it.
This guy was amazing.
He did pull-ups like all the way up
Yeah.
there.
So yeah, when he leaves, when he's leaving that little power fucking mill or whatever the hell it is that's in the middle of the ocean, they pick him up. He already has like his suit. He already kind of has this guide as to what to do when he goes and meets this chick, which is kind of weird because he just gets dropped off in the middle of the fucking ocean. And it's just like, okay, as soon as he gets on this boat, he gets a car that's already pre-programmed to go to
Yeah,
the destination,
super tight.
which is also like, CIA crazy operative shit. It's already
It already has
way
the-
thought
It
out.
already has the GPS. He just gets in the car and pushes start, and they're like, "All right, this is the way."
You're on your way.
Imagine they
Ryan
need to they
Gosling's
need to do
driving.
that for like just traveling. They're like, "Where are you going? We'll put it in the GPS for when you rent the car." It's
Yeah,
gonna
here you
fucking
go.
get like. That's what they need to take something from this movie. The car rent Enterprise, get on this shit.
Yeah. Also, Enterprise are gonna give us cars. That's cool.
But so when he goes through this training, he notices the bullet casings, and then he's like, "I've seen these kind of bullets before." Like, he's referring to the inverted bullet that saved his life,
Hmm.
and then that leads him to fucking Arpats himself, who is the man that saved his life, right? So
Who's
he left him a breadcrumb, I guess, technically, to
Mhm.
find him because he's gonna find him because of the bullets. And then
And yeah, there were specific metal casings that were only made somewhere in the Middle
in, like
East.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Mumbai,
Delhi,
yes.
So they were like, okay, I know this guy.
Mhm.
Wait.
But also, when his training begins, this chick is explaining that whatever it is that they're trying to fight against, or the reason they need to find out about this technology, is because it's like a world ender. It's beyond, what is it? Beyond nuclear holocaust. So the stakes are already like super high because he's shooting down this wall, and he's just like, I don't see end of the world here. You just get some crazy bullet shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And at
But-
first he thought it was the guy, right? And it was the
That's
the
right.
woman.
Yeah.
How sexist.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
And
So
then he drops a Tenet on them. And
yeah,
she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, you
She's
know
all,
the
like,
word."
she's all like, husband, go make him a drink
Yeah.
while I handle fucking
Make our
business.
guest
Yeah.
That chick was so gangster.
yeah, she was.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a real feminist
Yeah, that lady was
movie.
cool. That
Bullet
lady was hella cool.
maker.
so Arpats helps them meet Priya, whose real name, the actress name is Dimple. Just gonna
That's who you were talking about.
Yeah,
that's
holy
her,
crap.
yeah.
Priya Dimple.
That's amazing.
And then so Arpats helps them break in there with some cool like little bungee little stunts they got going.
Yeah.
Pretty neat stuff. And then Priya's just like, well, you need to go talk to my boy Sater,
Mhm.
who is gonna be the bad guy in this movie, played by Kenny Branagh. His name is, I think, Kenneth, but we're gonna call him Kenny. Get up, Kenny Bran. So he finds out that he needs to get a hold of this guy, and then so Priya, I think, does Priya tell him to go to Michael Caine?
Yeah, she tells
Mhm.
him to go have
She's
tea
like-
with Michael Caine.
Yeah.
She's like, go get Caine, get his blessing,
Get him now.
get the
Mhm.
info you need
but
from
dress
Caine.
right. This guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
Go
Oh no,
to-
that's
Because Caine is the one that's going to tell him how to get to
Yeah,
Kenny
yeah.
Yeah, and he tells him to do that because with a fake
with a fake painting.
Goya.
yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, one of the
uncultured swine.
One of the good jokes in that one too is where he goes to this establishment that's like top tier shit. Only the elite of the elite are there. And he's like, I'm here to meet whatever Michael Caine's character is. He's like,
His name is Michael as well.
Is it
and
really?
and then the waiter's like, Sir,
Sir
Michael.
Michael. No, he's like, I presume you mean Sir Michael. Presume
Presume
away.
away.
Oh yeah, that's
He's
a
just
good
like,
one.
oh, you
Yeah.
motherfucker.
You're hilarious, little dent.
yeah, he had some zingers.
And then he takes him to the table and he sees that Michael Caine's eating some fucking fabulous food. He's like, I'll have that. He's like, I'll send the waiter. He's like, I'll
Good.
pass on the meal. Thank you.
No, he tells him he's like, don't bring the waiter, put in the order.
Yeah, he's just
Oh.
let my waiter know what the
Oh.
order is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's even better.
He's
Yeah.
like fucking cocky as fuck.
That's what I'm
Super
saying,
cock.
bro. This guy swings that thing around like it ain't nothing.
But you can't be doing that in front of Michael Caine because he'll shut you down.
He'll humble your ass
Uh-huh.
quick. But no, he really just gives him all the information
He gives him all the
needs.
info. And then when the food arrives as
Yeah.
he's leaving, he's like, can you box this up for me? And they're like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The waiter of that movie is actually one of the stars of Christopher Nolan's first movie that most people, I'm sure, haven't watched. It's called Following,
Mm.
and it's pretty weird. It's just like that dude was in his first movie, and I guess he's put him in like in tiny little roles in like 2 or 3 movies.
Well, that's cool though. I mean,
That's
fuck,
kinda
keeps him
crazy.
in there.
I'd
Keeps
be-
him
I'd
employed.
be like, why, Nolan? I was the star of your first feature, man. Put me in more movies, Chris. You can be the waiter. Fine. I think that's how that interaction went
how
down.
that conversation
I'm pretty
went.
sure.
It's exactly how the casting.
In your
Pretty
fantasy world, yes, for
No,
sure.
come on.
So yeah, on his way out, Michael Caine basically gives him a fucking black card, and he's just like, "Yeah, dude,
Go
you-
get some thread.
make sure you save the fucking world, and we'll balance the books later." He's like, "Cause you're here now, that Brookstone suit ain't gonna fucking
Ain't
No.
gonna cut
it."
it. It's
You're
not gonna
just-
cut
It's
it.
not
Go to
gonna
a
cut it.
tailor.
Yeah.
No off the fucking shelf shit,
Yeah,
bro.
get outta here,
Exactly.
bro.
Come on.
Bespoke stuff only.
And he takes it serious because when he has that suit on, he's even cockier. He like
Oh,
asks for an
God.
espresso, even
Yeah.
though he's holding his fucking briefcase. I'm like, bitch, how are you gonna drink this?
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna disrespect
That
the
watch
black man's
too.
dress,
There's some pretty
bro.
nice watches throughout this fucking movie.
Yeah. And then that's where you meet the character of Kat, who's the
Kenny's wife.
Kenny's wife, of course.
Estranged.
Sato,
Mm.
and played by Elizabeth. Why does everyone have weird names? Debicki? Elizabeth Debicki?
Debicki.
Debicki?
The bikey.
Who is so tall.
So tall.
She's apparently 6'3".
Shit,
So she's 6'3".
So
it's pretty tall.
I was thinking
She ain't
the
no
whole-
Jordan, but that's pretty
The
tall.
whole time I was just like, there's just nothing that I mean, she's really pretty,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I guess her being 6'3" adds a little
For
something
sure.
her.
Yeah, that's
Now I changed my mind. Maybe she is really
Yeah,
hot.
that's
She's
some model
6'3".
shit, dude. That's some real
Can
model
you
shit.
imagine her legs?
Jesus, I can.
And I
can.
She was very thin.
Yeah,
She's very thin.
yeah.
But no, when she was standing outside that school, I was just like, Jesus,
Yeah.
she's tall.
Yeah, she's tall as hell.
I want to stand.
But she was like like an appraiser. She was kind of
Yeah.
like a enthusiast. What the fuck was her?
she's a
thing?
liar. That's what she was.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, she used the fake like that to like try to bamboozle her husband Sato, who is an arms dealer
Mhm.
out of $9 million.
Not a good idea.
And
No.
he was just like, bitch, there's gonna be consequence for that one.
Mm-hmm. So you can't see your kid anymore.
Yeah. He does like this really weird, it's kind of like in it's Inception again, bro. You can't see your kid.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he took some of that. He should have added Leo in there at least for a little
Mhm.
cameo or
Little
something.
cameo.
Yeah.
Would have been
Or
nice.
maybe he is. Again, this movie is a huge awareness test. Yeah, maybe we missed him.
It's
Maybe he's in there somewhere.
Leo inverted is Denzel, Lil Dems, maybe.
Little
Lil
dance.
Little young Arpad. I don't know.
Yeah. So they come up with this really like. Then they have to take the painting from this location where they have like
Like,
this
crazy
like,
Oh
security.
fuck!
Yeah.
What do they call it? A free port or some shit like that?
Yeah.
It's like before customs, people have an option to get untaxed novelties, whether it's painting, art, guns, whatever it is, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. People can bid, and
so
that's
super
what,
rich people.
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
their,
yeah.
their planes will just stop right there,
It
and they
says a
can.
free port is a real thing where rich people can secure their valuables without paying taxes on them.
fantastic.
That's where I keep all my shit.
You guys don't free port?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, so Arpats and Lil Dans, they're like, we need to find a way in there. There's this cool like, there's scope out scene where they find out that once the room gets sealed or something, or if there's an accident,
That's also based on real life.
Yeah, that's just
if
real.
there's an accident or something, the room will seal and
Automatically,
and
yeah.
people, whoever's in there, has 10 seconds to get out. Because apparently, like, if it ever burns, this like all the art's gonna be safe because there's this
It's like taking out the oxygen.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
displaces oxygen.
Yeah.
To put some like nitrogen or some
Mhm.
shit that doesn't
And
burn.
you just pass out.
yeah, so
and then die in a fire.
Mhm.
Like, ain't no good story for you. You dead.
Mhm.
The
So-
art's fine.
It's a cool little scene where
Arpats is
Arpats.
walking through.
Arpats and Denzel are like, they crash a plane
Yeah.
in order to fucking get in access to that room and get that painting. That's what they're after, right? They're
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the
No, that's
painting.
exactly what they're doing. So they got the threads. they got the tour, so they got to see all the security measures, all the shit they need to go through. And the guy, of course, is giving the tour, is giving them all the information. It's like, yeah, you got 10 seconds here, this access code here, and he's looking at him type in the access code. So there's a pivotal moment where fucking Lil Dens is picking locks, and then homeboy has to throw in the code, or else they're about to fucking die.
Yeah.
And they barely make it, but that's room 1. So then they gotta go to another one, and it's just like fuck.
And in the training montage, you see them like building up the ability to hold their breath. They're like trying to be able to hold their breath for like a minute or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes into play. So like when right before they crash the plane, and they're with whoever the guy that works there, whatever the hell his
Title
position is. When he's kind of starting to freak out because there's like something going on, and Lil Dens is just in the back.
He's
going,
preparing,
like,
yeah.
The guy's just like, "What the fuck?" And Arpats is all like, "It's yoga."
Just yoga.
Yeah.
He's really into yoga.
Yeah. And then so the gas goes off. They crash a plane. They actually crashed a real fucking plane for the.
Yeah, they figured it was cheaper, right? Than
Yeah.
CGI.
Yeah, they were like, you know what? Let's just crash the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then after that, they find a room that has these turnstiles in them, which are also going to play a giant fucking role in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this scene is very important. You
It's
don't even
so
know.
important.
You don't even know why yet.
I did not catch the importance the first time around.
not
You
at
do
all.
have to watch it at least twice.
Yeah.
And it's the same scene that you see in the previews. Again, this movie was
Yeah.
fucking kind of anticipated, so we watched these previews a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
So when you see that and it's coming out, you're still left with a what the fuck, but at the same time, it's really cool to see it play out in real time. And yeah, I didn't fucking, I wouldn't have guessed. I mean, where this movie went with that scene. But yeah, you see all these inverted.
So you see the masked guys come through,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
one's going forward, one's going backwards. So you already know some weird shit is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the awesome fight scene.
The fighting
going
backwards is so fucking cool.
Yeah,
like,
My brain hurt when that
And
happened.
apparently, it's like there is no CG or nothing in that. Like they shot the fight going forwards, and then they shot it actually backwards. And they fucking.
Wait, what do you mean they shot it backwards?
Like the choreography?
They just
did it backwards?
So it's like,
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yeah.
Holy
You can tell.
shit.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, they're actually doing this. No, you
Shut
can't
up,
tell.
Roger Ebert over
You
here.
can't. I'm just like, there's no way that you did this. Like,
No, it doesn't look like CG.
No.
They didn't
I
use
just
it.
thought they rewound it.
No.
Well, I'm sure that
Maybe.
Or like
Yeah.
played it backwards, I
I'm
guess.
sure that there
Yeah.
is. I'm sure
You
that they
could
use
probably-
both.
Layer it
That's
on
so
top of each
sick.
other.
They
So
did
sick.
all the
Dude,
stuff.
Ozzy, do you want to learn how to fight back?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Hey, dude, you want to fight me? I already knocked you out. Now.
What are you talking about?
So you have to start on the floor with a bloody nose.
I taught you your moves.
Yeah. My knuckles hurt. I think I'm about to knock you out. What?
fuck.
Yeah. And then, so Lil Dens is fighting this backwards fight, and at the same time, Arpats is chasing this other dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fight with Lil Dens is intense. They're going all over the place, and then it only ends because the guy gets sucked out of the room.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
And
what?
The jet engine gets
yeah.
stuck. Yeah. the-
And then at the same time, Arpats you see him catch the other guy, and he takes his mask off, and he just looks at him, and then you don't know what happens, but he
Yeah.
tells Lil Dens that he took care of it.
Yeah.
And you know it's gonna come back later,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
so
yeah.
much happens that
Yeah.
you kind of fucking forget.
It's
Even
like
at
90
that-
seconds of intensity, and then you're just like, I don't know what the
What
fuck
the
that was,
fuck?
but
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, because at the start of the scene again in the preview, there's bullet holes on this pane glass, and Arpats wants to touch. He's like, "Don't touch it. It hasn't happened yet." And you're kind of like, "What the fuck?"
Mhm.
And then the fight scene breaks off. You're like, "Wait a minute!" And then you just see the bullet. He's shooting him, and then coming back into the gun. So it's like playing out in real time for them in reverse. So you're already kind of like, "What the fuck?"
Well, also Arpats is on the side of he's going like
Real time.
because they're
right?
they're in different sides of the turnstiles. So Arpats gets the person that's going forward.
Right.
And
then
Lil
Lil
Dens
Dens
gets
gets
the
the one
guy
that's
that's
going
going backwards.
That's why they have that amazing
Mhm.
backwards fight.
Yeah. And then so yeah, it's crazy.
So when Arpets catches him, and again he tells him like, hey, I took care of it. You kind of get that beginning scene feel of like, hey, is this just gonna fuck him over?
Yeah, you
Like,
don't trust him
this
fully.
is
Yeah.
this is double agent shit. Like this is deep CIA. Tower 7.
Yeah. And then so after that, Lil Dens meets up with Kat again. What do they talk about? That he wants to meet his husband. Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
yeah.
he needs her to get introduced to the
Right.
husband.
But then the husband finds out that she's fucking eating with Lil Dens, and he
Mhm.
sends like
His boys.
I don't know 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, so she calls his bluff too, because of course he shows up nice and suited. He's got the nice watch. She makes a comment about it and everything, but she's like, I know that you're not this billionaire who just wants to, sell me fake art or sell my husband fake art. So this meeting must have a ulterior motive. So, but my fucking husband or ex-husband controls every aspect of my life. So you're about to get your ass kicked by his goons, right?
Mhm, by these fucking Russian fucking goons.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst
And-
beating you're gonna get by
and he-
Russians.
And not only
Fuck
does he
no.
beat them up, but he beats one up with a cheese grater.
Oh,
which
It's a
is
sick. It's a nice
fucking
scene.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's a good action scene.
They would have had some gore with that. You see some really
It's a
grated skin.
It's
I
a good,
know.
it's a good action scene, and also like you assume Lil Dens is about to get his ass, at least be in like a
Yeah.
fight where he gets his ass. He just fucking handles all of them, and it's like really cool.
Yeah.
So again, it's just like this guy's acting like too cool and stuff, but then when the fight happens, it's
You're like,
that
he
fight's
is that
legit.
cool.
It's a legit
You
fight.
are
fuck
that
you up.
cool,
Yeah,
Lil
fuck
Dan.
you up.
And going into that cheese grating thing, it's just like fucking how I wish so much that Christopher Nolan made these movies rated R.
Yeah.
Because there's violence in them, but there's never blood.
No
Because it has
gore.
to be PG-13.
Yep.
There's you get your one F word if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you could use a lot more. You could use a few more F words.
It's like,
And-
show us the cheese grated face,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Exactly.
Please.
In The Dark Knight, I want to see the pencil fucking go through the dude's
Yeah,
eyeball.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you see the violence, but you don't see
Yeah,
like
you have no problem burning someone alive in the top of a big pile of money.
that's the
but
thing. They don't show it.
Mm,
It's like bad things happen, but they don't show he don't show it. It's just like, dude, Christopher Nolan, he started making rated R movies. His first few movies were rated R, but then I think once he made Batman, and he was just like, oh fuck, these movies make
Blockbuster.
this shitload of money,
Yeah.
and now my name is
a
fucking,
household
like,
name.
yeah, I could just like make a fuck ton of money and keep it PG-13, and they're still really good.
Yeah.
But that I've always been like, man, they would just be BR. There'd be an added little thing to it to be like, these movies, it would elevate them a little bit, I would say.
Right.
But that's not the fucking case.
No.
So then after that, Lil Dens, he meets up with Kat again. He's just like, let me I need to meet this fool, so I'm gonna just drive into your fucking yacht.
Mhm.
He's gonna see me, and then you're gonna invite me to dinner,
Right.
and I'm gonna come over, and he's gonna think,
Oh, bro, that shot of the fucking speedboat going to the yacht, that wide angle. I don't know where the
He's
fuck they were
fucking
at.
badass, and she's just sitting back.
Yeah,
like,
she's chilling, like
chilling.
big
I'm like,
chilling.
Dude, what?
nah, these fucking rich people,
I
They don't give a
know,
fuck,
They're
man.
so cool.
They don't care. They got yachts outside of the fucking coast of Greece or wherever the fuck they're
Yeah.
at. Beautiful shot too. And if he did that naturally, if they actually went there and did like the whole wide shot of the terrace on top of a fucking mountain, Homeboy spent some real production
and that
value.
yacht.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Seeing that yacht, it's just like, dude, why can't we be billionaires?
Yeah.
Why can't I walk into a room and then just doors just like
I don't
open
need,
up
I
for
don't need
me?
you to be even more of an asshole.
Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
Gotta
Nah.
keep you humble,
Yeah, I
dude.
gotta chill out.
Nah,
Yeah.
dude. Fucking Sato had like a bunch, like bookshelves with a bunch of books, and you really reading these books in this yacht, Sato? Nah, man. That's
Mm-mm.
just a bunch of that's just a flex. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the first edition of the Bible, mate.
Written by Moses himself.
That's
I
right.
have it.
That's
This
right.
is his
I have
ink.
He's Russian, dude.
I know. But I think the actor's actually English. So.
I didn't get a real Russian vibe from him either. You know what I mean? He was supposed to be this crazy Russian oligarch.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, they probably softened it again because it's PG-13 and shit. They're like, oh, we can't make him too crazy.
Well,
you know?
he does in that scene where Lil Denz goes to dinner.
dinner.
He does say
Oh,
some crazy
yeah,
He
shit.
says some
right,
crazy
right.
shit about
He-
how he's gonna
he-
torture and kill
Yeah,
him.
he was
And
like,
like
I
a-
am gonna.
at regular volume too.
Yeah,
Like,
he's so
he has
chill
guests
about
over.
it.
Yeah, he's just like, my boys are gonna take you into the woods. They're gonna cut open your throat.
Mhm.
They're gonna cut off your balls and stick them into your throat.
Mhm.
And I am gonna love watching you
Choke.
take your balls out of your throat just so that you could fucking choke. It's just like Jesus.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Is that how you treat all your guests?"
I'm like, fuck, dude, I just sat down.
Cocky motherfucker.
Oh, he's so smooth.
Yeah. But again, another reason why I did an English accent for that actor, he was in Dunkirk. He was like the main like commander in Dunkirk.
Mm.
Like he was a good guy in Dunkirk. Now you're making him the fucking James Bond villain in Tenet. Come on,
Straight
man.
up, yeah. He's got the yacht. He's
This
got
was
the
a-
money. He's got the.
This was just like a fucking time traveling James Bond movie, basically.
mhm.
Kind of in a way, you
Mhm.
know.
Also, a little Back to the Future-ish. You know, plutonium plays a
Mm.
big role, and they travel
Time
through
travel.
time.
Technically, it doesn't play a big role, right?
Well,
It's the implication of plutonium, but
It's-
then it isn't plutonium.
Well, it's for the end, right? For the whole device.
yeah.
But
So right there, after he gets the threat of getting his balls cut off, he kind of he says like some secret
he's
word to him.
They said, "Do you like the opera?"
Mhm.
Because he was the one, or it's assumed that he orchestrated that attack to get that fucking piece that was
Yeah.
missing, right?
And they keep saying that it's plutonium, and then little Denz is like, "I want in on this shit. I
Mhm.
want to
Mhm.
help you get this plutonium." So like a deal is fucking kind of made, and then there's a scene that happens where what are those boats real? That they get on those weird boats when they put the helmets on.
Oh
and
yeah.
shit.
No,
Yeah.
those shits are real,
It's
bro.
weird.
That's
It's-
just insanity.
That shit, bro. That shit is money. That is like fucking. It's like Formula One of the water, basically. It's
Right.
Rolex, Omega. Sorry.
Like the boat is mostly floating in the
Mhm,
air, right?
mhm.
Only like
Yeah,
the
fuck
very
yeah.
end of it.
Yeah.
These little sticks in
Yeah,
the water.
that gave me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, I was just like, that's a real vehicle. Like, that's a dangerous sport.
Yeah, super
Fuck
high
yeah.
finance. Super.
But that scene, the wife tries to fucking
Oh,
kill
Yeah,
him.
Cat's
right?
like, fuck
She
this.
snaps.
Yeah, she lost
And
it.
she
She
takes
tells him
his-
off, and she takes off like his whatever, like
harness.
his harness,
And
and
then
he
goes in, and Lil Denz does a 180 on the
He saves his
fucking
life.
whatever the hell.
If
those
they
things are
turn
called.
that quick, that's some fucking crazy
Nah,
shit.
they did that in San Francisco like 5 years ago or whatever.
The
That kind of
racing?
racing, yeah.
Oh,
and they
shit.
do turn that
Yeah,
quick,
that's
dude.
just
They
fucking
turn on a
nuts.
dime. It's
yeah,
just
well,
dangerous.
Yeah.
aerodynamically makes sense. The way those
Man.
things are, like,
Rich white people are crazy.
yeah. So they fucking.
So he has to jump in because he has to deal with him. He still needs to accomplish his mission. So Homegirl is ready to just let him drown and die.
She's sitting on the boat like, fuck,
yeah.
this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, oh shit, that strap. I thought you were choking.
Had to release it.
And then also that gives Sato, like, maybe he trusts Denzel a little more because
Yeah.
he saved his life. He could have just
He
let
could've just let him die,
drown.
yeah.
But
They do have a scene, yeah, where he's getting like tended to, and he comes into his quarters, and he's like, "Hey, I owe you my life, but I don't like owing people shit," you know.
mhm.
So that's part of the deal where he still
and
has
then
to.
he's all like, "Have you already slept with my wife?" And then he's just
He's like,
like,
"Not
"Not
yet."
yet." Oh
No,
shit!
he said. No, he says, "Have you slept with my wife yet?" And he says, "Not,
Not
yet."
yet. Fucking love him.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so the plutonium theft deal is made, and then there's this like really elaborate fucking car chase. Like they had to do this really weird plan because this what they say is plutonium is being transferred in this car, and they get like a bunch of trucks, which again reminds me of the Dark Knight because we got semi play going on here. We got fucking big wheels out there.
Yeah, Nolan just does it right with the car scenes. I mean, just a bunch of shit. There's a train going through the city and fucking Inception and shit. There's just a bunch of train car flipping and all this type of shit.
Yeah, and Lil Dan's gets on a fire truck. And they just like box this car in, they smash it together. He like blows his way into this truck, gets the thing, dips out, and then Arpad starts driving like a fucking
stud. He's got that 535i, you know what I'm saying?
He's got driving gloves on. That's how you know he's not fucking around.
Transmission that could just drive in reverse
Dude,
so fast.
That was really cool. I mean, that's impossible, right?
What?
Yeah, that transmission would have exploded.
For a fucking car to be driving that fast in reverse?
No, man.
No?
They're not geared that way.
They're pretty good. German engineering is pretty solid. I think they're top on like a fucking especially a V8 is like 60 miles an hour on reverse. But as far as controlling that might be pretty hard.
I mean, it looked real. Like you saw it happen. Yeah, it didn't look like CG.
We'll look into it and see what the fuck happened there. Because if they pulled that off in real time, that's fucking great.
I mean, I'm sure they weren't going that fast, just like with sound effects and shit. They can make it seem like it's going faster.
Just some guy on the side going.
Oh my god!
Fucking 6 gears. It's like it's only reverse.
Yeah, I think.
Why is he shifting?
It's going. There's different reverse gears, whatever. Right? Yeah. But that seems super cool. And then Lil Dan sees a car that's already flipped, and then you see it unflip, and then at that point you see a Sato that's wearing a mask and has it's freaking a cat.
Yeah.
And then so he makes Lil Denzel give up the thing, which at this point when he opens it up, he finds out that it's not plutonium, that it's that same piece that he got in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. That the dude had it.
And Arpats is like, dude, don't give it to him. And he's just like, bro, he's gonna kill this bitch who I'm probably gonna fuck. Right?
I need to fuck you, dude.
I told him not yet.
He's kind of dangling.
And I'm gonna keep my word.
And then so he fucking throws it at him, and then they ditch the car with just her in it. So Lil Dan's has to jump over there, stop the car. He gets caught up again. Lil Denzel is just getting caught up this entire movie, dude.
Which, you know what? Motherfucker must have a strong ass hand because that car stopped from like 100 miles an hour.
No way.
To like dead stop. I was like, bro.
All like super quick.
Yeah, that must have like some carbon ceramic brakes or some crazy
no
shit.
way.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that's the most unrealistic
Yeah,
thing
I was
in
just
the
kind
movie.
of tripping. Not the time travel.
I bought all that shit.
I bought all
Not
the
the inverted
backward bullets.
That truck wouldn't have stopped it. And then it also, he barely gets it with like the tip of his fingers. He would have had to have
strong.
I think he was doing the pull-ups, bro.
That's
Oh,
right. That's fucking right.
Yeah,
Come on.
Nothing gets by Nolan.
He's done everything.
there's gonna be this break scene, bro. I need him to work on his
Why do
finger
you
strength.
think he did all those pull-ups?
Stupid.
It's all in the script, mate. We have the science worked out. So he stops it. He gets taken hostage to another warehouse that has another turnstile. So he's looking into the room with another Sato has cat,
And it's all backwards talking.
Yeah, so backwards talking, which again the actors learned to talk backwards, and they just did it.
Made sense to me.
None of it was like just played backwards. They actually learned to talk backwards and spoke backwards and shit.
It's
pretty fucking
That's
crazy.
crazy.
You have to do that because some asshole's gonna play it forward, huh? And be like, dude, they would just say
It
gibberish.
does, bro.
It's perfect.
It's
That's not how that would have
Yeah.
sounded.
Listen to my podcast.
I'll tell you. I'll explain why that shit ain't real. That's not how they would
I
have
learned
sounded.
it the real way, and it doesn't sound like
I
that.
learned to actually speak backwards, and it doesn't sound anything
The
like
break, I believe. I believe that he could have stopped at that velocity, but
And here's why.
but he couldn't have spoken backwards like that. No. And that's also like being translated too, right? So they have
Yeah.
like this weird negotiation where they're both speaking to each other backwards, and then he shoots Kat with an inverted bullet. What they've already explained: if you get shot with an inverted bullet, it's bad.
It's,
news.
no. Yeah, it's a bad time.
So he shoots her in the stomach, and then he's like, all right, I'm out. So he got all the information as to where that thing was going to be. So now he dips to steal it from them during the car chase that we just saw.
Right.
So right then you see him leave with, like, he should have had the kidnapped chick with him to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he already had the fucking mask. So now
Right.
he's going to go back there. Because now that he knows where it is, he's going to go get it. And then little Denzel's like, well, now I'm going to go back and stop him. And Arpaz is like, dude, you can't stop. It already happened. You
Right.
can't stop it. And he's just like, well, we got to fucking try. He's like, you might fucking make things worse. But
Right.
he's just like, dude, that's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my bitch out there. I can't allow it. He has
How many
I-
6'3" girls are out there in the world?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I got-
seven.
I gotta save her.
Yeah.
I'm going to climb that tree, man.
Oh,
I
shit.
still need to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
So then you figure out, and you're kind of confused too, because when you see him with her in that car, he is wearing the mask, and you kind of find out that the laws of inverted time travel or inverted travel, the oxygen works against you, so you have to have a breathing mask, and everything is kind of like
Yeah,
in
You
reverse.
can't breathe inverted air.
Yeah. And then
It says your reverse lungs can't breathe normal air.
How do you fart?
you don't.
you
No.
burp. I don't know.
Your
No, there you go. Fucking
asshole.
logic
Different
right here,
too,
baby.
bro. Oh fuck!
That tasted gross.
Yeah. The fuck did I eat? God damn.
Yeah, so little Dens is just like, I'm gonna go back, and they're just basically like, if you go back, like, shit's gonna be going all different. Like, you're gonna be the only thing moving forward while everything else is moving backwards.
Mhm.
So he's like trying to drive, and he's also got his phone out. He's doing something with his phone, but it's very dangerous to be driving
Checking his IG.
while you're on your
probably.
phone and everything's going backwards.
He'll do anything for the gram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He has
then
a
you-
watch on. He probably just likes to
Unliking the
watch.
pictures that he drunkenly liked.
Gonna save my bitch.
Yeah.
Story update.
I'm gonna delete that text. I sent. I'm just gonna not send that.
My inverted self was drunk as fuck.
Yeah. So then you find out that the car that was flipped over in the middle of nowhere was actually him.
Him.
So it had already it was already a part of fucking
happened,
the
happened.
story.
Yeah.
What happened,
What happened. That's
Exactly.
that's actually
Pretty
the
crazy.
Lo que
message.
pasó, pasó.
And then actually him going back is the way that Sato gets it, because it's like I don't know, I don't even understand how, but it's like rolling around in his car right
Oh.
before it flips,
And then
Yeah,
and then it ends up out, and then he just pulls
Oh,
up
so-
and grabs it.
Yeah.
and
So
then Sato burns.
so
him.
the thing there, the thing there too
He
is
does.
where he
But
shoots
yeah, he's
Cat,
freezing.
and he's going back to retrieve. He also has an ear set where he's getting real time information of what's happening in the present time. So he knows that he now needs to go back to get that same cue, because when he did the transaction of throwing it in there, it was in that car. So then in his timeline, when that car flips, there's a gas leak and he's all fucked up. So he's like, okay, at this point, I can actually kill this guy. So he sets it on fire. But in an inverted time, fire turns
Jesus.
into ice. So then that's where our Pat is just like, hey, bro, you're gonna be the first guy to die of hypothermia by a car blowing up.
Explosion.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and then that's where you meet like the Tenet fucking
Teams,
SWAT
yeah.
team or some
The
shit.
cavalry.
Led by Kick-Ass himself.
Yeah,
Shredded,
dude,
bro.
Kick-Ass is hot.
Shredded.
The first time we watched it, I didn't realize it was Kick-Ass
No, me
until the
either.
very end.
Mhm.
To the
I didn't
very end, I
realize
was
that
like, oh
until you
shit, that's
told me.
Kick-Ass.
I was like, that can't be him. And then I Googled him and I was like, God damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I mean, he got
hot.
shredded for Kick-Ass, but he's like super
for the
shredded now.
second Kick-Ass, I feel like he was like Shred City,
Mhm.
and also for maybe Godzilla because he played a soldier in that.
Mm.
So he's had quite a physique before. He knows he's no stranger. He's no
Nolan
stranger.
had to get him. Bro. I'm gonna get this motherfucker. Right
Yeah, and that scene too is really cool because the inverted scene where they're like negotiating because one side of the room is blue and the other one is red. They kind of establish it even from the beginning logos. The Warner Brothers logo, everything's like red,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Sing copy, which is like Christopher Nolan's production company's blue. So then like red forward,
Yeah.
blues backwards.
Right.
Whenever you see these colors, if someone's wearing blue or something, they're going backwards.
Right.
And if you see red, they're going fucking
Again,
forward.
a giant awareness test. Everything that's happening is happening. I don't know. I don't know. It's
That's what I
fucking
thought was
crazy.
really cool in that scene because he's like in red or in blue, but then when you start seeing what's going on the other side, there's like a little bit of the colors like bleeding in. It's like
Mhm.
he's seeing the future or the past, or I don't know. They're like really close to each other.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's also visually really pleasing. Kind of reminds you of like 2001: A Space Odyssey or like
Mhm.
Kubrick shit, where it's just like the colors and the cinematography.
Yeah,
and
the foreground,
is,
everything's
like,
making sense. It's
like,
making the scene come
it's all
together.
pretty, sounds good. You got little dins,
Yeah. Mhm.
But so then Kick-Ass explains to them that they did what's called a temporal pincer, which they're just making up words.
They're
At
crazy.
this.
The dialogue is intense. for
And then he's just
sure.
like,
pincer
yeah.
is a real military move.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's where you come from either side and trap the dude in the middle.
All right, so they did a temporal one of those. So that's what Sato did. Sato and his team, already knowing how the car chase went down, went back in time and got the fucking artifact. And now fucking Lil Denz is like, well, I'm gonna fucking, well, like fucking Cat's already shot, so we gotta fucking be in the past, because by them being in the past, like her wound goes backwards, so that's the only way that they could fucking save her life.
Right.
And then they're like, well, we're gonna be back here for this amount of time, so it kind of lines up to when we fucking blew up the fucking plane, so we'll just fucking jump back in right there. And then you find out that, so when the plane jumps in, Little Denz like jumps into the room with the plane,
Mhm.
and as soon as he jumps in, because he goes through the temporal thing again, turnstile.
Mhm.
When he goes right to the turnstile, at that moment he runs into past Lil Denz,
Mhm.
and that's why they have that fucking backwards fight.
Yep.
Which in
So
the
the-
beginning of the movie you have no idea
Yeah.
that he's fighting himself.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Even Lil Denz.
There's
Denz.
there's like a
Lil
there's a
Denz.
one particular
That's a Lil Denz.
moment in the fight scene where they're throwing blows, and it kind of looks like Win Chun, like they're throwing wide, and he's blocking every single one as if he knows every move he's about to make, which he does when they were fighting in real time and in reverse.
He's like, I've been in both sides of this
Yeah.
fight, so I think I'm gonna kill
So
it.
it's coming here.
Johnny Bravo.
And it goes back, but it's fucking cool because you see it in real time in forward time the first time, and then in reverse the second time, and it's just like, bro, that was even better than the first one, but
Yeah.
no one had the upper hand in it, so it's fucking nuts. I actually enjoyed the second scene of that better than the first time.
Agreed.
Oh,
Agreed.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know. He goes through it again, right? So after the fight, he goes through it again. When he comes out again, that's when Arpat starts chasing him.
Mhm.
So he was really like in the same place three
three
times.
It
There was three different
It was going
hands.
on 3 different times. Yes.
So as he's fighting fucking his past self, also Arpats is fighting his most future self. So fucking, and then when Arpats catches him, he sees who he is, and he's just like, that's why he throws him his mask back, and he's like,
Get the fuck
Get the
out.
fuck outta here,
What are you
dude.
doing, kid?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
One of the main things too that's explained way early on in the movie is where the same time that that opera house thing went down, where there was a shift to in the inverted time, there was like a spike somewhere around in Russia where there was like this huge radiation spike. There was like a meltdown of a small town of like 200,000 people, and you come to find out that what's the evil guy's name?
Sato.
Sato. He was one of the crew who was sent there to look through this radioactive waste, and in doing so, he found these artifacts that were buried into like this capsule. So now that you learn about that, he turned on his partner, his friend, or whatever. He kills him, right, or
Mhm.
he murders him because he knows that these artifacts are
So-
powerful in that sense that they're shifting time, that he can bury it and he can come back to it and in sense end the world.
The
Be-
artifact, basically, when he finds it, it comes with like a contract. It's basically the future saying, like, if you find this,
Mhm.
this is what we want you to do. Like
Mhm.
right now. Kill, if you're with somebody, fucking kill him.
Yeah, murder him now.
Yeah, you're gonna be rich and you're gonna
And turn the
fucking-
page
and
after that.
like you're gonna fucking help us essentially build a bomb. So they say so Arpats and Cat also go through the turnstile, so now everybody's back in the regular timeline.
Mhm.
And that Cat's been in the inverted timeline long enough where she healed and she's safe now. And then little Dens goes back to Priya and he's just like, what the fuck, girl?
Mhm.
Like, you're like, I don't know. What's
You-
going on?
Yeah, you sent me to meet this guy, but it totally fucked me because I gave him exactly what he wanted,
Right.
Yeah.
and I fucked up because now I'm straight up gonna be responsible for ending the world.
Yeah. So then, well, so
And
then
a white woman almost
so
died.
she explains to them what's going
Tall as
Really
white.
tall one.
She explains to them what these artifacts are. He's just like, there's 9 artifacts in 9 different countries. This scientist from the future that discovered this shit fucking buried them in 9 different parts of the world and then fucking killed herself.
Mm-hmm.
So the fucking future is fucking basically paying off fucking Sato so that he could fucking find the parts and fucking bury them and let them know where they're going to be. Crazy stuff.
This is heavy, dog.
going on right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, the first fucking time I feel like you have to be like Stephen Hawking's or something to understand, because I was not getting, even the
Oh,
second
no.
time, didn't get some of this information. Like, it made way more sense to me the second time, but like that whole, like, the future is, I guess, doing this because it's all fucked up.
It's like climate change.
Yeah, climate change. So they basically want to make this thing so that they can reverse time and like heal the world,
Mhm.
but in doing so, it's gonna destroy the current world that everybody fucking else lives in. So it's gonna end the present so that the people from the past can fucking save themselves. But what they don't know, I guess, is that Sator is dying of fucking pancreatic cancer,
Mhm.
and it's his fucking plan to kill himself. And he has a kill switch, like a fucking like a wristband or some shit that's
Mhm.
connected to his heart. And once he dies, this bomb that he put together is going to blow up,
Mhm.
and he's just gonna end everything for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So gangster.
So everything, yeah, all timelines collapse at that point with his death.
Mhm.
That's what you kind of find out, and it's kind of like it's a mission that you feel like it's just gonna end because you feel like the movie is trapped in some form of like loop paradox of the same shit happening over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So
Then they come up with the idea of like they have to go back in time to where Kat and Sato were on a
On a
vacation,
yacht.
And it was like the day that all the shit went down, where he gave her like
fucking whore.
Yeah.
Jumped off the boat.
The ultimatum.
the
Ooh.
ultimatum that she could never see her son again or whatever. So I guess something happened that day where she could have just kind of just done what he wanted, and things would have probably been different.
Right.
So she has to go back in time to that moment and change that, while the Tenet team, led by Kick-Ass and fucking Arpats and Denzel, they're all gonna go in. One of the red team's gonna go in real fucking time. There's gonna be two teams. The blue team's gonna be in inverted time. The mission's gonna be going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The blue team's gonna have the knowledge of everything that the red team went through, so that everything could go smooth. But the whole thing is that they have to find the bomb and stop it before fucking Sato fucking kills himself.
Right. Right.
Which is crazy that's what's going on. Because in one part of the movie, there's this crazy action shit going on where half of the people running around, it's going on in backwards. There's a bunch of explosions. There's people going forwards. There's a lot of bullets being shot and blowings being blown up.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you're getting this like shit where like this bitch is kind of try to act like she loves this guy who she fucking hates, and like
he has to believe that she was like her younger self when she was still in love with him,
Right.
basically.
Yeah. And she decides, fuck this.
Yeah,
Right?
she's a vengeful bitch at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, she risked humanity.
Yeah, she didn't give a fuck about his evil Fitbit.
Fuck this dude.
Yeah, like there was this guy who helped her, because it's also really complicated, because herself and her son go off on a boat, and then her future self gets on that. No, I've gone cross.
But in the beginning of the movie, you see that they're on the boat and she sees someone jump off. And she, at that point, thinks it's like his fucking mistress or something.
So,
and then at the end of the movie, in this scene, you're just like, fuck, it was her.
Yeah.
She's the one that jumped off.
So
the
her younger
boat.
self was already thinking like, okay, well, this dude's not only a piece of shit, but he's fucking some other bitch. And I have this kid with that. At that day, she was told that you won't be able to see your kid anymore. So it's kind of like it was the main moment where her life went to shit. So of course, her going back to it, she was just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, so there was a guy in a boat that was supposed to throw off a flare, letting her know that the bomb had been found.
Right.
So that he could die.
Yeah,
but
then she could have her revenge.
But he couldn't die before that. But she doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
She sees time is running out, that her past self, past Austin, is getting past Austin. Technically, it's not cheating. You are adorable.
Okay, enough.
That's
Spike
the
Shack
Greatest
me.
time travel movie of all time.
It's up there. Yeah, so she fucking takes her revenge.
Well, okay, so while she's with him and she's kind of holding up this charade, right? He gets a call from the present mission of the inverted and the forward moving teams getting through it. The bomb is ready to rock. The henchman dude, who, I mean, his character was okay. It was kind of a throwaway character, but
yeah,
he's ready to pull the fucking. I'm assuming it's like a trigger,
yeah.
right? So that means that at that moment, he, the evil guy, okay, so this is what tripped me out. This motherfucker had that CIA cyanide pill that they took, and he was ready to pop it.
Yeah.
But we learned in the beginning that if you pop the bitch, you're not gonna die. You just go into a coma. So even if his plan was to die and end the world then and there,
it wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened. So his like plan was flawed. But it's like, what the fuck is going on? Because at that point too, I'm just kind of like, well, she didn't know that, of course, you know.
Right.
But what the fuck? What would have happened? I don't know. What the?
I don't know.
It's a weird one.
And then that bitch's whole thing was just like she's trying to save her son. It's just like, but if you shoot him, You're gonna kill everybody, including your fucking son.
Right.
But anyway, it worked out.
It worked out.
She shoots him, and then also she like spilled like some fucking
Sunscreen.
body wash or whatever it was
Yeah.
on the floor beforehand. She already knew. She even took off the cables of the
Yeah.
side of the
Premeditated, bro.
Yeah,
That
she
is
knew
murder
what the fuck
one,
she was
dude.
doing.
and then,
Straight
so
murder.
So she blasts this
That's
fool.
life.
Mhm.
That's
She
She
life.
blasts this fool, and he falls on his back, and then she just slides him right off the boat.
And then he
And-
still hits his head.
Yeah,
on the
so
way
yeah.
down.
neck,
Oh,
Titanic
fuck.
style.
Yeah, he's straight Titanic
Yeah.
shit off that boat.
That's right.
So he dies a pretty cool fucking death, like where he's actually like, "Oh fuck, I just got shot, I'm fucked," and then also gets to get slitted off and get his neck
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
then
a
ate
villain,
by a shark.
That's how
Yeah.
a villain should die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
And then at the same time that that's going on, when Lil Dens and Kick-Ass, right? They're trying to stop the guy from pulling the trigger. They're trying to get the algorithm out because also there's a bomb, and they want to let the bomb go off, but they just need the algorithm. They need to
Mhm.
let the bomb go off so that Sato thinks that
It's all
that it
the
all
plan
went,
worked.
Yeah, that it all went down. So they're trying to get the algorithm, but they're like locked away. They can't. And there's also a dead dude in the
On the ground,
on the
yeah.
other side of the room, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
there's a fence. Yeah, there's kind of like a catwalk fence where it separates the bomb. It's kind of like on a track where this guy's pulling it with a chain. And so then Kick-Ass and Lil Dens are trying to get to it, of course, and they need to pick that lock. They need to get to the other side. So what the fuck happens?
So
How did they even
what,
get there?
What happens is so they're about also at this time Arpats is in the blue team that's going backwards, but then
Right.
he decides to fucking go forward.
Switch it up.
He's like, fuck it, I'm going back forwards. And then I don't know.
Which is a cut. It's a cut in the middle of the whole battle where you see him go on to the spin thing and he comes out, and that's when the switch was made.
Yeah, so he actually realizes he has to go and save their lives.
Right.
Like he has to throw a rope down there so that they can hang on, and he pulls them out when the bomb goes off and they got the algorithm.
Mhm.
And also there was a dude that was dead there on the floor, and the evil henchman almost shot Lil Dens, but then
Right.
you see that the dude on the floor takes a bullet for him. He gets up and gets shot in the face, and the bullet that should have killed Lil Dens
Right.
kills this person.
Right.
And then I don't know what they get the algorithm, they get out.
Mm-hmm.
They throw the guy into a pit or something.
Yeah, and whatever the capsule was holding this device, they throw it in there, which they were saying that it was buried for fuck ever.
Yeah, like
So who knows how-
200 years or something.
Yeah, so who knows how deep or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So then all three Kick-Ass, Arpats, and Lil Dens are all standing there. They all got the algorithm.
Yeah.
They like take it apart into 3 pieces, and they Kick-Ass is basically like, all right, like everybody take their piece, hide it, and then fucking kill yourself.
Mhm.
Whenever you decide to kill yourself is up to you.
You're
bro.
right.
You can live your life or whatever
Yeah.
you want, but you gotta fucking kill yourself and never tell anybody
Yeah.
what happened here.
It also gives you a quick dose of like that whole double cross shit, right? Because he so Robert Arpats throws a fucking rope down the hole to pull him out as the explosion goes off. So the explosion goes off, they pull him out, he sees them, a big crater happens, so they fall down again and it pulls him out. It's a good save, right? So then he gets out of the car, he goes to him to aid him, and Kick-Ass gets up and takes the algorithm and he's pointing a gun at him. And you're just kind of like, man,
oh man,
what the fuck?
Kick-Ass was in on it.
Yeah. But no, he's basically just saying, hey, you're going to do your duty and make sure this doesn't get into the wrong hands. And to ensure that doesn't happen, you have to kill yourself and not tell anyone. Or I can do that for you and I'll fucking kill you if you don't get rid of this at some point, right?
Yeah. Basically, he's like, if I ever see you again,
Mhm.
you're fucking dead because
Yeah.
you didn't kill yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So then at that point, Arpats is like, you know what? I'm going back in. Oh, and also the guy that got shot from the floor had the keychain,
Yeah.
the prominent keychain
From the opera scene in the beginning.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm gonna go back in, like just one more round or whatever. And he's like, are you sure? And he's like, yep. And then you see him pick up a backpack, and you see that it has that keychain, and then you find out that Arpats has kind of been He's kind of been helping little
Yeah.
Denzel the whole
The
fucking
whole
way
time.
The
through,
entire time.
making sure that he got the fucking job done. And then he's just like, what the fuck? And then he basically tells him like, yeah, like this is the end of a really like long friendship between you and me, but it's just starting for you and shit.
Yeah.
And this is the part where I said like little Denz does his best acting because he's kind of like crying and he's just like, what the fuck is happening? And then he's just like, yeah, like,
I'm gonna fuck your wife, but it's not what you think.
yeah. And then so he's just like, who the hell are you, right? Like you've been a part of this the whole fucking time. And he's just like who do you work for? He's like, you haven't figured it out, bro. Like I work for you, like you in the fucking future meets me from the past. I don't know.
It just gets.
I don't know.
The dialogue he's delivering of the beginning. There's so many. The word beginning and end is thrown like fucking 20 times in their little fucking exchange there. That you're like, all right, I fucking lost what the fuck you're saying.
But I kind of get it.
Yeah, I get it. It's starting for him. You're dead, and you're starting the mission all over again because now Kick-Ass is like, hey, I need you because you picked the locks the best. And it was because of him that he gets to the other side of that cage to take the bullet for fucking homie. And the only way he would be able to do that is if he picked the fucking lock. So it's just like, God damn it. You're dead. It sucks.
Like, at that point, he was the mystery man at the opera house and he took a bullet for him.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
It's crazy.
Craziness.
At that point, that's where you're kind of like, okay, this is in full paradox fucking loop. It's unbreakable. It's kind of like
it's the
a little predestination ish.
One of the subjects of one of our Hawk talks.
Yeah.
Predestination.
Shout out to Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. Hawk did this first, Nolan.
Good try, buddy.
Yeah, because it is like also kind of like that movie. They're fucking time cops.
Yeah, they're like a secret agency. Because even when they tell him that he was part of the CIA and he's out, he said you're private. You're a private asset now. Like you're above that now. You're like in the elite of a special group.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I drew the parallels from this and Predestination.
And then the last scene is, it comes into play that at some point Lil Denz gives Kat a cell phone, right? And it's like, if you're ever in danger, like reach out to me. And so that last scene is hella cool because she's like dropping her kid off at school and Priya's in a car, like ready to like kill her to, tie up loose ends, if you will.
Priya also gave Lil Denz her word that
she would be safe.
That her and her son would be safe. But then also right before that, he's like, you should know that like an arms dealer's word doesn't mean shit.
Right.
So I'll give you my word if you want it. She did warn him. She did warn him.
That's true. In her defense.
He also says something, I forget. We're pulling the trigger. Oh yeah, where he's talking to her on the roof. He's like pulling the trigger, and you're an arms dealer would be the easiest trigger I'd have to pull.
Yeah.
So it's just like, for a fact that once that scene comes into play, she calls him and she kills the hitman who Priya was about to send to go murk him. And he, little dialogue, little exchange, little class act.
Yeah.
And he has no mercy for this fucking wretched fucking gun dealer.
And what's also really cool is he tells her, just call this number if you ever feel like anything's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So she calls the number and puts the phone away. It's like, so technically she shouldn't ever know that she was ever in danger. He just showed up and saved her, but it was just, she had a suspicious feeling. Nothing ever happened. She went on with her fucking life and never even realized
Right, exactly.
Her life was fucking saved.
Yeah,
and shit.
moments away from fucking death.
Yeah, and that wraps up Tenet.
That just makes your brain hurt like the whole time.
So yeah, you find out that it's a paradox, and basically everything's happening. Has to happen over and
Everything
over.
that's happened in the past has happened.
It's already happened. Our pets told us.
You ever seen Groundhog Day? Same shit.
Yeah. But way
Funnier.
more complicated.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of fucking fan theories and a bunch of other shit like
the Neil thing.
Yeah.
Well, get a hold of this, Oz. There's a fan theory out there that kind of makes sense that Neil is
Is the son.
is the little
It's the
boy
kid Max.
is grown up, and why is it because of the name? Oh,
Well, because of the name, but also because when Arpat tells him that they have a really long history, it just kind of makes sense that once Lil Dance comes into Kat's life, that he meets him as a kid. So that's why it can be a long friendship if he's gonna die like in his 30s.
And he has that connection with her with the phone call. Like who knows for how long that kept going on.
And but it was like this weird thing about like, you know, they call him Max, but if like his real name was Maximilian, the last 4 letters of his words would be Neil. His name would be Neil. Inverted.
Yeah. So then
I thought it was like Illin. Like, oh hell yeah, that's cool.
Ryan.
But like the one scene where he first meets Arpats is where he gets a drink and he's like, I'll have like a vodka tonic or some shit, and he'll have a Diet Coke or some shit. And he's kind of like playing them, and he's like, oh, well, I prefer soda water. And then Arpats looks at him, he's like, no, you don't. Like you already know.
So that's already like an indication that he knows him, like he's friends with him.
Because he's giving him his file, like he's telling him, hey, you've done this type of shit. But to know like something in detail like that, it's more of like, hey, I'm sitting in front of you. I can tell that you're drinking this shit. Like we spent more time together outside of the field type shit.
And if you really think about it, like the kid and Neil do have kind of like the same kind of hairstyle.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool theory.
I mean, hairstyle.
Did he fuck his mom? That's my question.
Who,
I mean,
Lil Dance?
Yeah, did he ever?
Hopefully.
Did he reach the promised land?
If that theory is true, then yes.
Yeah. So the only thing
that's his kid.
No, but that's why he has a relationship, right? Because he's with her.
Yeah.
Made little.
That little kid is what's his name? Sato's son.
And that's
I don't know. There was no DNA test. Is all I'm saying.
What I was telling Lil was
Let's
like,
take him to Maury.
Yeah, we have to take that for his word.
If Sato and the bitch had this kid, and Sato was able to invert in real time from everything since he started that radiation shit when he was a fucking child, would it have been hereditary for him to be Arpads who had the capability or the knowledge to go both back and forth at will? You know
Doesn't that blow your mind?
It's crazy. I mean, again, these are all fan theories too. It kind of fed off a little bit from a couple of YouTube things. I won't name drop any of them because fuck them.
Yeah.
But like, ultimately, it's one of these movies that will forever. You don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And unless
until Nolan says something.
Christopher Nolan finally spells it out, which he like. People still argue about the ending of Inception, right? And he just won't give you a fucking. He won't say Leo was dreaming or not. He won't fucking tell you. Be like, whatever you want, mate. Yeah.
That's the ending. Yeah.
It's whatever you decide.
So the guy that plays Sator is 5'10", and his wife is 6'3", and Arpats is 6'1".
You feel me?
Come on, man.
That's perfect math.
I think they made him in real life, even.
The math adds
yeah,
up.
the math adds up. The
Yeah.
math adds up.
So
The numbers are checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the fun facts I read was that at $205 million budget for this movie, this makes it the most expensive movie ever made to have a black male lead. So
Lil Dance.
pretty crazy. And worldwide, this movie's made like 220 million right now. They're saying it has to make like 400 million to break even.
They gotta release it. They gotta stream it now. Put it out there.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, at this point, we went to the theater yesterday, and there was one other person in the theater.
Yeah, that's really sad. We got there exactly
he was by
at
himself.
9:30. Yeah, we got there exactly at 9. You're like, dude, do you want to sit with us?
I was really
like,
high.
are you masturbating here too, or what? Like,
where's your coat, man?
I was so high that I always think people are just gonna go to the movie theaters to kill people.
Right,
so I'm just like, what's this lonely? He just fucking was hoping for
today,
Mexicans
2 people were killed at the movie theater in a mass shooting.
Mass shooting. Mass COVID
There was 4 of us, so he would have gotten a nice score.
There was 5 of us.
5. He would have gotten a nice. It would have been a mass murder.
Yeah, 5 is mass,
5
right?
Mexicans. He was white.
3+.
He was
5
white.
Mexicans.
Hate
That's
crime.
like one
It's a
white
hate
person.
crime.
That's not a mass murder.
No, not really. Yeah.
That's enough gang shootings.
You would
that don't
have
count.
needed
That
like
way.
at least
I think-
7 Mexicans.
No, I think technically mass shootings are like above 3 or something.
Yeah, but Mexicans,
It's normal.
we don't
Yeah.
count.
normal.
We're like
It's normal.
3/5
It's
of a
because
person.
Mexicans
Come on,
are
guys.
always like in large
normal.
groups, so it's like you're
gotta
gonna
take a
kill
lot
at
of us
least
out.
5
Yeah.
Mexicans all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Mm.
doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And also another little thing. This is the movie that has the least special effects of any Christopher Nolan movie ever, which doesn't make
Who
sense
did
because
that math?
huh?
How did you figure that out?
It has 280 visual effects shots.
Oh wow! God damn, there is numbers for
And-
that. Fucking amazing.
And
That's
The Dark
insane.
Knight 2008 had 650 visual effects
Wow.
shots.
Holy fuck!
The Dark Knight Rises had 450.
what I-
Inception had
For
500.
sure, Inception had.
Is there a portal called The Dark Knight Rises?
I'm certain.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
If not, you have to go
cinematography.
pitch
Shoot
it
the
to
link.
someone.
Shoot the
Yeah.
link.
That's
Shoot the
Even-
link.
And even Dunkirk had more visual effects, 429. This movie only had 280.
Yeah,
But
and it's
Dunkirk
a-
was a war movie, a lot of explosions, I would think, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Pow, pow, pow. Those Germans were.
I think that the majority of these visual effects were in that last scene. To be honest, for this
For the
Tenet,
smoke.
for the smoke, for the running, for the fucking building. That building that blew up like fucking battlefield style.
Oh, they blew it up twice at
Yeah.
the same time.
It was pretty cool.
basically.
inside and out.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty sick.
Some good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, when I stack it up to like Nolan's movies, it's definitely not even. I wouldn't even say it's on my top 4 or anything. But maybe more appreciation will come to it for the more times I see it, because I still
Yes,
feel like I could watch
yes.
it again
Same.
Agree.
and get more out of it. Because
Mhm.
all this stuff about climate change and all this, some of the stuff that we broke down, I could not guess that from watching the fucking movie.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Agreed. Yeah. I
Or
was
the
just
part
like,
where he's
what?
doing the pull-ups. You guys told me that he was doing the pull-ups. He's sitting there waiting
He
for
was
his
waiting.
future self to do what he was gonna do, so that
Right.
then he could fucking jump
Go
into
back
the fucking
into- yeah.
story.
It's like,
Yeah.
but when you're watching it for the first time, you're just like,
Just like,
damn,
why is
they
this
just
dude-
want this guy to really be good at pull-ups.
Yeah,
you know?
and then there's no explanation as to that's what's happening.
No.
They would what the fuck?
Yeah, they-
Yeah, they
We're
can't
supposed
assume
to
we're gonna be
guess
that
that?
smart.
And yeah, and again, it's implied like, hey, there's this world-ending shit that's about to go down. It turns out to be climate change. Like, what the fuck is going on?
They're
and
just
that's
trying
like,
to stop.
They're afraid of
climate change.
nuclear war, but the whole time it's climate change.
it's fucking crazy.
Fucking hippies.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we need to rewatch this one. and
Yeah.
Hopefully,
For
you
right
guys
now,
do
what
too.
would be your ratings?
You know what, man? I enjoyed it. Again, visually, I was engaged the whole time, even though the dialogue was confusing at times with the fucking following. But I'm at a solid 8 for sure, 100%.
Okay.
A good 8.
I think I'm probably there, or like a 7.9, 7.8.
Mhm.
But yeah, basically like around an 8.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I will appreciate it as I watch it more.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna look for that fucking charm, bro. It's somewhere in there, dude. And if Max has it,
Well,
got
now
it.
like
It'll be cool
It'll
once
be-
you like own it and
yeah,
you can like
you
pause
can stop
and
it and like
rewind.
watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay attention to certain scenes and stuff.
director's cut.
You know what
Yeah.
I really was craving this second time that we watched it for fucking subtitles. I was like, if it had subtitles, I think I would have caught more things. Like it's
Yeah.
just the dialogue's really heavy.
It really is. You really got to be.
So
on
where
the
you at,
top.
Lil? What do you give it?
I mean, I would probably give it like a high 7 just because like the first time, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I walked out of there and I was just like, feel really stupid because I don't fucking know what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
But I was engaged the entire time. Like the action was so cool and all this backwards shit that I was like, I was entertained, but I was not sure what the fuck I had just
Yeah.
witnessed.
Yeah. Like, the
So
movie
probably
looks good.
initially I gave it like a 7.5, but now that I've watched it again and read up on it a little bit more, I'm just like, I'm getting closer to an 8. So maybe a 7.8, 7.9.
Right on. Ozzy, what do you got?
I'd think like 7.5. It was really good. It was long, but it didn't really feel that long. That's what she said. Oh,
Oh, shit.
Use it better.
Learn how to use it.
Coming from the West.
like yeah. I mentioned before, and I'm not trying to compare it to the Adam Sandler flick, but just in length, they were,
Yeah.
like that Adam Sandler movie. If you took 30 minutes away from it, to me, it would still be the same movie. This one, I
Right.
think everything that was in there definitely belonged in there. But again, not something that's like, holy shit, tell everybody they have to go out and see this
Right.
right now.
Agreed.
I think I liked Inception better
Yeah.
than this.
I would say that
And-
Inception
And I
better,
think
too.
it does it for itself. Again, Nolan is now like the fucking household name. Everyone's
Mhm.
gonna be fucking about it, regardless if someone says it
Yeah.
or not. I think people are gonna watch it.
Well, this movie was
No matter what.
Or
supposed
even
to
like
be
when
the-
you watch the trailer, you're just so confused by it. Like, what the fuck is this movie about that it makes you want to watch it, And then you got
Yeah.
Lil Dan, so you have faith in it.
And even by like, if somebody asked you what this movie's about, in order to explain it in a way that makes sense, you have to spoil shit. You gotta be
Mhm.
like, there's a bomb.
Every time he's fighting himself.
There's a bomb that they're putting together, but you don't find that out till
Till
later.
later.
Yeah.
But that's the plot.
just be like, yo, there's a bomb and it's called climate change, bro. You figure it out from there.
And the future's trying to fucking save the
Yeah.
world, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be really confusing. But
Yeah, the
go
presence-
watch it because the action is fucking awesome.
The present's the future. The past already happened. I don't know what's going on.
What's happened.
Anyway, well, I think we've talked.
I've gone cross-eyed
well-
like 10 times,
well long
but
enough
this
about
was
this. Hopefully you watched it, because if you haven't seen it, probably what we said is just like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
And then he went back, and then he was blue.
But see, that's the thing too. Even if we did explain everything to you in the best way we could, guaranteed you're not gonna know what the fuck.
Oh
is
well,
going on.
actually, if you listen to this, you'll understand the movie more when you're
Yeah,
watching
that's
it.
true.
So you're
So
welcome.
listen to
You're
it.
welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're
You're
welcome,
welcome.
people.
Again,
Anyway.
yeah, thank you to Salad Bites Media for having us again.
Mhm.
Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff.
Wear your mask. The president is in the
Yes,
hospital
he
with
is.
COVID.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
That was a weird outro, Lily.
I know, but it's
Get
true and it's
political.
weird.
I know. Fuck you, Lil. End
No.
it on that. Fuck you, Lil.